recap NFL and NBA extended weekend as well as preview Bulls Magic and Bucks Spurs. That's all right now on Yackin Wit Yoni. Now, again, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone had a great New Year. It's time to kick off Yackin Wit Yoni 2013, and hopefully we'll have plenty of memories. Definitely have a lot of stuff in store this year. Now, let's kick it off and recap NFL weekend. First things first, the Bears and the Lions. The Bears need to win just to still have hope to get in the playoffs. They do. They win into a final of 26-24. Let's go to the game. That's Amari. There was a crucial, the Bears did win by 2, but there was a couple of Amari field goals. He did make a couple, but he also missed a crucial one. I think that's what the Bears needed him to really step up there, so I think that was one of the problems early on in the game is that they needed, with Robbie Gould being out all year, they needed him to really step up and be the goal, and he only missed one. I don't know why I really put it on there, but I think it was something they needed to talk about. Great connections by Stafford. He was able to throw it sideways, or he was doing sidearm, doing unbelievable things, Matt Stafford, to make completed passes to Calvin Johnson and to Nate Burleson. This is a very good team, and this was a very good, last year this team made it to the playoffs. This year, obviously didn't do that much. But the fact of the matter is that he was able to make good connections, and he is a good quarterback. I think you need one more very good receiver for this Detroit Lions team to really step up. And then finally, Bears hold on. It looked very close at times that the Lions were going to take this one. It was going to be like the Bears it didn't even matter what happened in that Packers game. And they were able to hold on barely against the Lions. And I think right there, when you have to hold on against a team that struggled all year, you know you're going to struggle, or you knew it was going to be rough. But the Bears do hold on once again. The Bears win at 26-24. Bears and the Packers-Vikings. From Lambeau Field, the Vikings win at 37-34, therefore eliminating the Bears out of contention. The Vikings advance. AP on the loose. AP was only 9 yards away from breaking the single-season rushing record. He didn't know until after the game. He's like, really? Only 9? So that's crazy. But he was able to really do well, and the Packers had a tough time stopping him. Penalties on the Pack. You realize that I was talking about this with the people I was watching the game with. The Packers usually get calls for them. And again, the one game the Bears fans have to root for the Packers, it seems like nothing happened, and they ended up rooting for, and the refs ended up going against the Packers. That cost them finally clutch field goal for the Vikings. They do make the game-winning field goal. As soon as it went through the uprights, the Bears' playoff chances were done. Vikings move on, and they will play the Packers this Saturday at 7 o'clock on NBC. That one will be first round of the playoffs, so them two teams with the Packers lost, they do not get the first round bye. We'll be previewing that on Friday. So Bears lose 26-24. Packers lose 37, or Bears win, Packers lose in that game. We'll be previewing NFL weekend tomorrow, or on Friday. We are on Facebook. You can like us, message us, and much more. That is Yackin Wit Yoni on its home of Facebook. Now it's time to recap NBA weekend. Kicking off Saturday, Bulls beat the Wizards 87-77. Wiz hit the wall. This team has trouble scoring, and mainly because John Wall has not played yet this year. He's been struggling. He's been hurt. He's injured. That's the thing that's missing him. They're missing that. He's not a veteran, but he's a guy that can really spark up this team. He's the future of the Washington Wizards, and that's what they needed him to really be back. I think if they have him in that game, they may even win this game. But without having him in there, really missed that excitement of this team. Second one, Rip is back. He made his return back. He was making some crucial shots. That moves Marco Bellinelli to the bench, which gives the Bulls a little bit more depth. And I think it helped him out as Rip did very well. And then finally, Bulls avoid comeback. Wizards come out. They were really doing good in the third quarter, did very good in the fourth quarter. Remember the quarter that seems where the Bulls put their guard down a little bit. They were able to stay in there and win that game. And they win at 87-77. Bucks and the Heat was also Saturday. Bucks won a surprising win, 104-85. Bullet points. Heat not hot early. They were struggling, missing a lot of shots, and when they were missing, the Bucks were able to make. It just seemed like the emphasis of this game was just coming out. They played extremely well. They nailed their shots to the Bucks. But on the other hand, the Miami Heat had a struggling first quarter. Second one, Bucks make Heat turnover. There was a lot of turnovers by the Heat in that game. They were throwing it away. They were not, I don't think their head was splitting this game. I think when you overlook a team, Dwayne Wade did not play the night before, lost in Detroit. So I think he was able to come back, and it just seemed like they did not have that groove. They did have a lead in the game, but eventually come back. And then Bucks engine a battle of runs. That's what I was just saying. The Heat went on a run where they took a lead, and the Bucks end up taking the biggest, and then they just start making shots, nailing them, pretty much saying, you know what, we're going to win this game no matter what, and that's exactly what they did. Bucks beat the Heat 104-85. Sunday, Pistons against the Bucks. Pistons win 96-84. Villanueva deadly is my first bullet point on that. Former Milwaukee Buck, he was nailing from beyond the arc with 1 foot in the air. He was just nailing them. I think the bench is unbelievable for the Detroit Pistons. Something we have not covered because we haven't really seen much of the Pistons. But that is the big thing for this team. They were able to nail shots. But Charlie, again, him and Carlos, I mean, it's like Carlos. It's Charlie Villanueva. But what a game for him. Able to really step up. Ilya Silva clutch shot. He was able to get a couple of clutch shots in that game. He was able to get that back in there, and I think that's what this team needed to just kind of get back in the game. Then all of a sudden, the Detroit Pistons was able to do. And Detroit's Prince, Tayshaun Prince, nailing some nice shots as well. Like I said, he's the leader of this team. He's the only one left of the years where this team was in the NBA Finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's the only guy left. He's the one guy who's trying to say, hey, Detroit still has something to prove. They're young, they're rebuilding, so they really don't have it right now. But Tayshaun Prince able to help them as the Pistons win 96-94 on Sunday. Then on New Year's Eve, Bulls lose this one 91-81. Bobcats offensive boards. Then the Bobcats were able to get some offensive rebound to get it right back in the bucket. They have some young guys on that team, but they were able to help them out. They really nailed their shots. They got what they needed to do. So an unbelievable job by the Charlotte Bobcats. Now they've lost. We'll get to that in a second, but the offensive boards, they got a lot of points. Second, Bulls can't lead. The Bulls did not lead in this game at all. They tied it at the end of the third quarter. Then the Bobcats able to take it back and just continue to dominate. Just an ugly, ugly game for the Bulls. Talk about ugly, miserable fourth quarter. Bulls barely got anything going. Bobcats just kept making their shots from Gerald Henderson, nailing them, to Kemba Walker. So an unbelievable job. It's a great job by the Bobcats. I have that in parentheses 1-18. They were on an 18-game losing streak. Before this game, they come in and beat the Bulls. When a team's on a losing streak like that, you know eventually it's going to end. You just don't want it to be against you. So the Bulls lose that one 91-81. They try to recap tonight, or try to rebound tonight. That is recapping NBA Extended Weekend. We're the one place to go watch the Yackin Wit Yoni programming. It is our home of YouTube. You're going to watch all our episodes every week. That is Yackin Wit Yoni on YouTube. Now it's time to preview tonight. Let's first preview Bulls Magic. That one will be from the Amway Center in Orlando. Could be a good matchup. The last time these two teams met at the United Center, the Bulls had the momentum. The Bulls had a lot of good things going on. So I think they really look. Hopefully they'll continue to look good. And I think they need a rebound. They need to play well. They had a day off. They're in beautiful Orlando, Florida. But I think what they really need to do is just step up and be that dominating team. They haven't been able to do that at all. This is a very young Magic team. I mean, they still have Jameer Nelson. They have J.J. Redick. They have guys that can try to be the leaders on this team, but they struggle with that because they don't have Dwight Howard anymore. But the Bulls need to capitalize on this game. They need to win this. They need to get some wins because Friday night they're facing the Miami Heat. That's going to be a big game in Miami. So the Bulls just need to try to lead things up. They got the depth now with Rip Hamilton back. Derrick Rose is going to be on the bench. According to Brandon, he reported to me, I haven't got any confirmation, but I believe Derrick Rose is going to start being with the team on the road, getting closer to a possible return, possibly after the All-Star break. But Bulls, Magic tonight. Bulls, like I said, they just need to try to get a lead and keep going. Hopefully Noah and Boozer are looking to be the big keys in that one. That will be at 6 o'clock on Comcast Sportsnet. Then the Bucks will be home at the BMO Harris Bradley Center against the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio, a very good team when you look at who they got. They got their big three, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. They got the guys. They got a great group there. And I think they're trying to win a championship. And will they be able to do it? I'm not 100% sure. But they got big guys. I think that's what's going to hurt against the Bucks. The Bucks don't have them big. They have Dalen Bear. They have Larry Sanders sometimes playing at center. So I think they're missing the big guy. I think that's where Tim Duncan's going to be able to dominate. If Tim Duncan does what he does best, and that's pretty much dominate the floor, he'll be good. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, they're going to be nailing their shots as well. So I think the Bucks are going to be in trouble in this game. Will they be able to prevail? I didn't think they would be able to do it against the Miami Heat. They were able to do that. So I mean, the Bucks have been a team where you say one thing about them and they do another. That's how good this team has been this year. So I'm never going to learn my lesson and go against the Bucks because I'm going to be eventually going against them sometimes. But they still play very well. They're at home tonight against the San Antonio Spurs. That game will be on at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports, Wisconsin. Yackin Wit Yoni is on top of it when it comes to social media, and that includes Twitter, where you can get active with the show. Don't forget to follow us on Yackin Wit Yoni on Twitter. It's Yackin Wit Yoni 1. Follow us. No one follows us. Come on, folks. Okay, now it is time for predictions. And how we're going to do predictions today, 2 and 5 over the New Year's week. Now it's time to kick off this week. This one will end, of course, on Sunday. Bulls Magic from Orlando tonight. I'm going to go Bulls. And Bucks Spurs from Milwaukee. I'm going to go Spurs. So tonight I got Bulls over Magic, Spurs over Bucks. Before we preview tomorrow, over my New Year's weekend, I've talked about my niece Brystol. She's 3 years old. Get into music now. Well, we were watching New Year's Rockin' Eve on New Year's Eve, and there's a couple cute things I caught on tape. Here is Fun Times from Bristol.
I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came. That is the one thing.
She is something else, is Brystol. Hopefully, tell me what you guys think of that, and I can give you more stuff as she does some crazy stuff. So I could be able to do that. You also saw my little ham bone Brayden in there as well. He's 2 years old, playing with the ball. So I love him to death, so I'll try to get him in the show as much as possible, but let me know if you like it or not. Preview for tomorrow, we're going to review Bulls Magic and Bucks Spurs, plus new editions of Kate's Talk, The Thing and Share, and True or False. Katie will be back on Monday with her Katie's Corner, and then Wednesday with Story Time with Honey. That is going to wrap it up for this January the 2nd edition of Yackin Wit Yoni. I'm Ryan Yanushon saying this is, and forever